Yo, what's going on? I just had some technical difficulties, but that's none of y'all. Never mind. Welcome back to the Arman Hocker Project podcast, where you get the latest and greatest on my opinion on things. I do want to encourage you guys, whoever's listening, to head over to iTunes and rate and review this podcast. Let me know that you're listening. Or you can go to SoundCloud and rate and review it. Or you can go to armanhocker.com. armanhocker.com and let me know what you think about the podcast. Let me know, get some feedback. But anyway, let's just get straight into it. Y'all know me. I have an opinion, and I appreciate that y'all let me talk to y'all for a few minutes a week, every 2 weeks now, because I changed up the work schedule, so it's easier for me to upload every 2 weeks, but I might slide an episode in if things work out. Anyway, look, let's talk about this daggone Starbucks thing, right? This happened. I don't know when the heck it happened. Whenever you listen to it, it's obviously happened before I recorded this. So these boys were in IHOP. Man, I'm hungry. There were two gentlemen in a Starbucks restaurant, waiting, just sitting there. And then, if you don't know the story, the two boys were sitting in Starbucks in Philadelphia, and the management ended up calling the police, the authorities, and having those two people removed from the establishment. And then their story was they were waiting for somebody to meet there, and I don't know, have coffee, leave, whatever. It was just a rally point for these folks. And everybody on Twitter, of course it's Twitter, right? Everybody on Twitter went crazy. Now, do I agree that these boys should have been escorted off the premises? No, not by any means. Not, and it's been said, and I've seen it where people set up shop there way before they even order stuff. I mean, personally, I've literally gone to Starbucks restaurants. I don't drink coffee. I just go for the coffee cake, but a carrot cake. I've gone to Starbucks and just hung out because I didn't want to be at the house. So guess what? I'm going to go to Starbucks. I'm going to see them do some people watching and just kind of waste some time, you know? But anyway, these boys got arrested. I don't want to speak out of turn. I'm not sure if they got arrested. But the boys in blue surely, it says, well, men arrested at Philadelphia Starbucks say they fear for their lives. All right. So anyway, those boys got arrested, taken out of the Starbucks, taken downtown Philadelphia, booked or whatever, and they out of jail now, and they've been on TV telling their story and everything. Now, here's my concern about this. The one concern is that were they causing any problems in Starbucks? Probably not. They were just two guys in this I guess is called a restaurant, in this establishment, hanging out. Nothing wrong with that. Would the company like for them to buy something? Well, yeah, of course, but whatever. That doesn't even matter. These boys got taken out. They felt like they violated. Now, back to what I was saying. These folks, not these boys. These folks on Twitter, man, look. These folks on Twitter, they want to hoot and holler and raise all kind of hell, which that's usually what happens. You know what I'm saying? Something bad like this happens, something that where you don't get the entire story. And this is after the store manager, maybe the store manager or maybe the regional manager, he spoke on it, and it was not a policy of Starbucks to escort people out of the restaurant. Or was it? I don't know, whatever. My point is with that is the manager spoke on it and said the actions by the acting manager in that store at that time were wrong. And as of now, that manager is not working, at least in that store. I want to say for the corporation, but at least they're not working in that store, which is great. I feel like the manager at that store made a bad, no pun intended, made a bad call in having these boys be taken out of there by the police. Now, if you know anything about any establishment that makes money that's not, not UPS, it's not a factory, but it's a restaurant or something like that. If you have an issue with somebody just sitting around not doing anything, you ask them, you probe them, you ask them, hey, do you guys want some water? You try to, what do they call it? Suggestively sell them something, so at least you get some information about why they're there. Because at least I want to say, if that happened, the manager did that, y'all want some water, or you guys waiting for the line to die down. I'm certain people would have taken that as profile. Oh, why can't they just sit there? But on the business side, you do want to see, well, what are these guys doing here? You know what I'm saying? Because most people that go in there will go in there and buy something. Anyway, but this daggone manager made the wrong call, and I'm glad that dude, or female, I think it was a female, is not working for that company anymore. My concern with it is this: everybody on daggone Twitter, not everybody, not me, but a lot of people on Twitter were talking about, it's not, well, I'm sorry, let me back up. I don't think it's right, and people on Twitter were saying it's not right. I completely agree with that. I completely agree with it's not right to kick those boys out of the restaurant. I really need an engineer. I got so many things going on. It's not right for the boys to kick them. It's not right to kick them boys out of the restaurant. Now, my concern is everybody, and I say everybody except for me that I know of. Everybody's talking about support these black-owned, black coffee restaurants now. Out of the blue. Hey, support the black restaurants, and y'all need to support the black restaurants. Go to the black spot. That's what you should do, man. Fuck Starbucks. Fuck them. They ain't got no right to arrest black folks for sitting in there because everybody else shut the fuck up. I get this, because this upsets me when something like this happens. Now you got to look at Starbucks. Where Starbucks started? It started in I think it was Seattle, Washington State, some daggone where, and they all the way in Philly now. Not to profile businesses and companies, but if it were anything else, if it were anything, how can I say this? How can the one time I be political? How can I be political? If you were going to expect something like this from a company, wouldn't it be from a place like Starbucks? I'll give you that much. My point with all these folks talking about, go to the daggone black restaurants now, go to the black coffee shops and black coffee shop this, black coffee shop that. Hey, it's personally, and it's nothing against these black-owned companies, these restaurants, these coffee shops. It's too late for that. People have already voted with their dollars to go to Starbucks. And now all of a sudden, because Starbucks had one incident that was public, and at this one location, now all of a sudden every black person, African American, well, I guess really everybody, right, should go to these black coffee shops. That has to be the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Because what's your argument? What is your argument now when you go to the black coffee shop? Hey man, Starbucks racist as fuck, and I'm now gonna come spend my dollars with you. So the only reason you're in the black spot now is because the other folks discriminated against you. That's your reasoning behind going to the black spot now. I wouldn't want the dollar if I was the coffee shop owner, and my numbers have gone up this quarter because the Starbucks down the road, it's the one in Philly. The Starbucks down the road had these two boys arrested. I don't want your dollar. My point is, if you're gonna spend the money, if you're going to spend the black dollar at the black restaurant, the black establishment, you should do that from jump. Or do like I do, and I want to say a lot of other people do. Sometimes you go to Home Depot, sometimes you go to Lowe's, sometimes you go to H True Hardware, and sometimes you go to some mom and pop hardware store. You just go to where the price is right and the service is right. To me, and I've had this discussion with my brother years ago, and this is to this day. The black the ownership of a company or business, or even a what do you call it, a location. So say you buy like Starbucks, you buy into a franchise. McDonald's and Subway, you buy into a franchise. The owner who runs that, to me, it doesn't matter if they're black, white, Jewish, Hebrew, Hindu, Japanese, Korean, Spaniard. It doesn't matter to me. Why? Because I want my dollar spent at the right place. I want the customer service to be on point at wherever I go. Now, if the service is bad, consistently bad, because any store can have a bad day. If it's bad business that one day, depending on what it is, I'm gonna give them another try. But I'll be damned if somebody walks up into my spot only because the place that they've been going to for years, a place that they have voted with their dollars for years and didn't think about my spot. That's the only reason you're gonna come to the black spot. That has to be the dumbest shit I've ever heard, man. People on here just rallying. All these black-owned business, all these black-owned coffee shops. This is the reason we need to stick together and go to the black-owned shop. Shut the fuck up. If you ain't spending your money on the black dollar, I guarantee nobody went in those black coffee shops and screamed to high hell like they were screaming at that Starbucks. Nobody was screaming to high hell about fuck Starbucks, they racist. That is the only reason that I'm here. Because in all honesty, that's the only reason you're at the black spot now. It's because Starbucks was too racist, or in all honesty, I'm not necessarily siding with what Starbucks did, but I understand that manager at that Starbucks on that shift made the absolute wrong call. Hands down. They were, hell, shit, there's 3 other ways he could have done it. You know what I mean? There's, let alone 300. That manager made the wrong call. Now, the other side of this, too, is you got all these folks talking about, go to the black. Now, there's nothing against black-owned coffee shops or Puerto Rican. I don't care. It doesn't. So, like I said, to me, it doesn't matter who owns the shop. I want my dollar spent well, and I want the customer service to be on point. If those two match up in the quality of the product, if I spend $10 on whatever, I want it to be what I believe $10 of that product and $10 of that service is. It's, I guess a good example for me is Chick-fil-A. I don't believe Chick-fil-A is this God's gift to chicken sandwiches. But when I go there, the customer service is impeccable. Them folks smiling. Them folks, hey, can I get some extra sauce? Yeah, I'll get you extra sauce. No problem. Restaurant looks always the ones I go to. Restaurant's pretty clean. Actually, I've never seen a messy Chick-fil-A. The customer service is spot on. The food or what I'm purchasing equates to the dollar amount that I'm going to give them, that I'm willing to give them. And the customer service is good. I don't know if I just said that, but that's what I mean. I'm not going to, that's where I'm going to vote with my dollar. You're not going to, these folks, they're acting like now we go to the black spot, like you're going to put Starbucks out of business. Starbucks got plenty of daggone, business. They're going to be fine without the black dollar. That's fine. But don't sit here and tell me now you're going to go to the black spot. Get the fuck out of here. That's so stupid to me. On the other side of that, not actually of that, all these people were talking about go to the black spot, and you had people acting as if, and it happens with businesses, and it happens with businesses, but not families. And I'll go to the family part in a second. People were acting like Starbucks as an entity was horrible. This fucking piece of shit company. No, man, it was that one location in that one city with that one manager on duty. That's it. But people were acting like every Starbucks in the world were these racist, and black folk can't sit in there. And shut your ignorant ass up. That kind of stuff bothers me, man. When people just take this one thing and act as if it's everybody. And this is different. This is different than like police brutality kind of thing, because the police, the law enforcement as a whole is they're at this level in society, in America at least, that's not above the law. They're in a very specific position where they carry the burden of life or death every day that they go to work. They're in a bit of a different situation. So for you to say all the police are bad, that's a good argument. I'm not saying that all police are bad, but it is a good argument because the frequency of bad interactions that people are having with police. That's black, white, Asian, don't really even matter, but just as a whole. But those folks are in a very specific position in society. Starbucks, motherfuckers making coffee and macchiatos and venti sized drinks, and how in the hell is the entire species of Starbucks bad? Because of this one spot, there's one Starbucks, there's one location, and there's one city, and it had one hosed up manager. And now, not recently, but after that incident, you start to see more people post more negative stuff about Starbucks and all that. And I'm just going, to me, it just feels like, folks are trying to, get some more publicity out of it. I think it was the wrong move, man. But don't sit here and tell me that's like somebody listening to this podcast because I don't know, what the heck is a big podcast? Joe Rogan, The Experience. Joe Rogan says some racist stuff. So I'm gonna listen to Arman Hocker Project podcast now. I don't want your ears. Listen to my stuff because you saw it on iTunes. You saw it on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, SoundCloud. You found my website. However you found it. But you gave it a chance and you liked it. That's why I want you to listen to it. Somebody suggested to you. That's what I want you to listen to. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to my podcast because some racist shit happened on another podcast and they said something you didn't like. Get it? That's that same thought process. That's how I look at this daggone black coffee shop stuff, man. It's ridiculous to me. That bothers me, dude. If you're gonna support if you're gonna support anybody, here's the big thing. If you're gonna support anybody, just support them. If Monday you go to the black spot, Tuesday you go to Starbucks, Wednesday you go to Coffee Bean, Thursday you go to Dunkin' Donuts, well, just do that. Because personally, I believe every place, not absolute, but every place has something that you specifically like. Some people love Burger King's French fries. Some people love McDonald's double cheeseburgers. That's fine. Some people will go get fries from this spot and then go get a burger from that spot. That's fine too. But don't sit here and act like you're going to... People act like they're just going to walk into the black spot and go, hey, I'm here because Starbucks is racist. I wouldn't want your money, man. That has to be the most ridiculous reason or drive or motivation ever, man. If you're going to support somebody and support a business, well, just do it. I try to always throw some money at specifically specifically, even a mom and pop, even if it's, I don't care what race they're, I don't give a shit. But if it's a mom and pop, for sure. If it's I'm big on donuts, man. I love me some pastries, man. So I try to go to the mom and pop joint before I go to Dunkin' Donuts or something. Because Dunkin' Donuts, they got their money. They ain't worried about last quarter's whatever monies they made. I forget what the daggone call. They ain't worried about it. They made their money. But the mom and pop's joint, that's mom and pop's places, AKA black owned. I don't know any black owned franchises at coffee shops. There may be even local within a tri-state area. I guess every state's a tri-state area if you really think about it. But local inside a tri-state area, they may have 2 or 3 shops or something. But those are the ones I try to spend my money on because I know they don't have the luxuries of having, their stocks traded on the New York Stock Exchange, for instance. They just don't have all this revenue coming in. I mean, look at Starbucks, and they didn't start this way, but you go to Starbucks, they have the gift card, which really isn't. I guess a mom and pop could have that. They have the gift card joint. Then they have 17 mugs on the shelf. Then they have their own coffee. What do you call it? Brew. I mean, they have other ways to create revenue aside from just selling you a hot cup of bean water. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I try to spend my money at the mom and pop's place. You can ask my wife, man. She didn't used to do that, but I kind of explained that to her, and she said, it made sense. And since then, I'll see her go to more places. Now, don't get me wrong. If there's some spots that you want to go and you don't want any question of the quality or, the quality of service, and you want to go to this chain restaurant, well, yeah, it's fine. I'm not mad at you. But don't show up at the black spot just because Starbucks is racist, man. That's absolutely ridiculous, dude. But I guess that's all I got to say about that, man. But I saw that kind of, oh, man, that kind of bothered me, man. So what's going on with y'all? How y'all doing, man? I definitely had to talk about that. I ain't going to talk your ear off too much this week. I don't know if y'all know, man. I'm in Greece right now. Yeah, all the way, I guess Europe. Yeah, Europe and Greece. I'll be here probably till next year, and then I get to go back to Maryland, man, and that's a wrap. I'm not from Maryland, but kind of miss Maryland, man. Family's back there. Everything I know is back there. Well, everything probably would last 6 years, 7 years. Everything's in Maryland, man. But yeah, I'll try to get some pictures or something up, man, out here in Greece. If anybody's ever been here, let me know where the heck to go, because I'm a homebody. All I do is sleep, work, upload podcast episodes, and that's really it. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, so I was listening to, of course, the Rail World podcast. It's on iTunes. I've spoken about him before. He had his last episode 49, man. He was talking about how, I need to listen to it again, but he was talking about how he reached out to somebody on Twitter, and I'm not mad at him. He basically said he took a shot in the dark and asked the person to be on his podcast, or if they would, or something to the effect of hooking up with them, being coming on the Rail World's podcast, right? It's Daryl is his name, but his podcast called The Rail World, RELL World. And basically he got shot down, but I forget who it was, but they were kind of rude. Basically tell him, you know what I'm saying, people don't like at him or at them. I think it was a girl. I can't remember the name, but don't at them to talk to him or something like that. And the person on Twitter was real verified. They were verified. That's the name of the episode. I think blue check mark, episode 49. Go check it out. But he was talking about how they were offended, and then I think he said he responded, but he didn't want to do a real big back and forth or anything. But he was kind of not upset, off-putting. I think he was shocked. It's like he didn't think that would come off as disrespectful or anything. And man, after doing this podcast, and even I still have my YouTube channel. It's still I upload some of these episodes to that if you're at work or something. I don't know why you can't watch it. But the hardest part about having a podcast nowadays, right? I guess podcasting is a new thing. I don't know. I have one. A lot of people have them. But the hard thing now is approaching people to do a podcast. Now he said he basically just took a shot in the dark, like, hey, what are they going to say? No, and that's what ended up happening. But it was in a manner that I think he at least thought. I know I thought the way he told the story, it could have been handled way, way, way different. But that's the big part is one, having the courage that gonna ask somebody to be on your podcast. Oh, that's what I was saying. Referencing my YouTube channel, it was the same thing. When I wanted to do workouts with people, it's not awkward, but you just have to ask them, hey, can you want to do a workout video? And basically the workout video is you just working out and recording it and maybe do a voiceover or something. But the podcast thing is just so specific. It's essentially, it's an interview, unless you guys are friends and you guys are just having a regular conversation, or the person is coming on to talk about something you guys have not in common, but the interests are the same. So for me, I'll probably do weightlifting or something simple, something that I have experience in, and then I have somebody else come on with to talk about working out and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes, man, the hardest part is just getting the courage to ask somebody. And yeah, I said courage. It's not even for me, it's not easy. When I'm at work and people bring my podcast up, I'm rather shy, even though I've said this before, and I probably put it on Instagram somewhere, that you have to be your own. You have to be your own advocate. You have to be the one. You have to be the biggest cheerleader of your own product, whatever it is. And at the same time, you don't want to be overbearing. And that's like for me at work, that it gets uncomfortable because I'm at work. You know what I'm saying? When I'm at work, I'll tell y'all, I rarely talk about work here. I don't think I've ever really talked about it in detail. But I'm not podcasting. I'm working. So when people bring it up, I get kind of shy about it. But I've had people from work come on the podcast. But like I said, you have to be your own cheerleader. You have to be, you're wearing your t-shirts. I got t-shirts, koozies, stickers, all this stuff, man, just to kind of passively promote this thing. But when it comes to asking somebody to be on the podcast, man, you almost have to have so many reasons for them to do it, to almost not convince them, but make it seem like it's good for them, and thankfully, everybody that I've asked to be on the podcast, they've said yes. So it's either they wanted to have their voice heard, or I was compelling enough to get them on. Because some people were nervous, man. If you look back on all those episodes that I had people on, some of them are nervous. Some folks, I know Antonio, he had his own podcast, or he was on Metal Lab 101 when they had a podcast. I hope those dudes are doing all right. But yeah, man. So with him reaching out to somebody, and I think his point was with that episode was, this person had this blue check mark, meaning on Twitter that means they're verified. I think it's the same thing across all social media platforms, but they're verified. And he was saying that they may have this sort of entitled feeling, like an entitlement to not talk to just anybody, which doesn't make sense to me. I'm yet to get any direct feedback on social media, on the internet, via the World Wide Web about my podcast. If I can think, no one has organically just came to me and said, yo, man, it's just hot, or yo, man, it's just trash. People face to face, yeah, they talk to me about it, which is even fine. But for somebody, it was like what he was saying was she was, I want to say she was offended that he would do that. I'm just going, man, you cannot be upset at that guy's hustle. He's sitting there. He's at 49 episodes. This dude is consistent, man. And when if he's gone for a couple weeks, he comes back strong. And I'm thinking, she hasn't even given this dude a chance, man. Listen to his daggone episode. Even when I listen to the Real World's episodes, I think it's a healthy we're not really competing at all. But when I listen to it, I go, damn, this shit's good. You know what I'm saying? Not that I would think otherwise, but he's on the same playlist as, Joe Rogan, Mark Maron, Mark Bell. He's on my same playlist with all these other, I guess nationally recognized podcasts. I'm going, man, this dude he's on it. And I'm thinking she probably didn't even listen to it. I feel like if she listened to him, just, I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute and a half, he would have, or she would have been like, she would have said, well, all right, I can do this. I'll at least do what do you call it? A phone episode, man. But yeah, I get my hats off to my hats is off to him. My hats off to him for that. You can't go wrong with reaching out, man. And I try to I've never done what he did. One, because I'm not in the country, so the whole travel thing and connecting with people is a lot more difficult. But my hat is off to him, man, for doing that. And then once again, speaking on it, man, because he could have just kept that to himself, but I'm glad he didn't, because, well, one, I wouldn't have anything to talk about, but two, it makes him seem very, very just down to earth, man. And from what I see, from what I hear, he is, dude. He's good, putting out good product, man. Good podcast. Go fuck with him, man. The Real World. I hit him up. I shared this daggone episode 49. And apparently he's got a merch store. Yo, go check him out, man. He's got t-shirts and sweatshirts, I think. Yeah, man, go check out The Real World. My man's selling shirts. I ain't step my game up. Well, yeah, hands down. Go check him out, man. The Real World on iTunes, at least. I know for sure he's on iTunes. That's where I downloaded him from. But yeah, dude. You gotta hustle, man. If you don't, somebody's gonna out hustle you, and then you're gonna be mad because they got it and you didn't. Get out of here. Get all the way out of here. Yeah. Anyway, man, what 30 minutes, something like that. 30 minutes. What else we got? I don't know, man. That might be it. Hey, before I get out of here, for sure, head on over to, gotta think of sponsors. Head over to the Rival Collection. Use promo code AHP20, AHP20 at checkout and get 20% off of your total order. The website and the promo code is always down in the show notes for this episode, for this podcast. Go over there, check them out. It's a apparel brand. They got not everything, but they got everything for the average gym goer. I'm waiting for that dude to put out daggone pre-workout or something. Surprised he hasn't, but maybe he's just focusing on the apparel. I think they just launched some new stuff too. So AHP20, man, at checkout. All the details will be in the promo. All the details will be in the description below. So yeah, man, we got Starbucks, we got folks banning, we got folks boycotting Starbucks, all Starbucks for whatever reason, right? I mean, there's a reason, but it's a shit reason. And they got the Real World doing it. Yo, did you see? Check this out. So, there's a kid that got charged with murder because the police officer shot and killed. So the police officer, let me get this whole story. I think the kid, or the two kids or something, they broke into a house or something like that. Father charged with murder. The two kids were, they broke into a house, and then the two kids broke into a house, and the police got called. The police show up on scene, and the police. So I think one or two were getting away, and the police officer shot and killed one of the teenagers, one of the intruders or whatever you want to call it. And then the daggone kid gets charged with murder. I gotta find this dude. I know I tweeted it out. Twitter is Arman at Arman Hocker, by the way. But yeah, man, I thought I've seen this. I've seen this kind of thing before. Making a murder, or how they'll kind of weed everybody together. Say, well, if you didn't if you didn't meet up with this, if you didn't connect these two guys together so they could play, Mad 98, the guy would have never shot the other guy. So you just as guilty. You guilty for the murder. You go, whoa. They were supposed to play Xbox, man. They had nothing to do with the daggone murder. So I think that's what happened. I think that's what happened with this kid, man. How is this daggone thing not in my... Oh, here it is. When police officer shoots. Here it is. Teen. Let me read this up. I feel like I'm in the news, man. That's why I need a guest on this podcast. All right, look. Teen gets decades in prison for murder of someone killed by a cop. Yeah, man. Let's see. He's now 8. When was this? In 2015, in Smith's case, he was involved in burglaries alongside Adante Washington, 16, when the police officer shot and killed Washington in 2015. That is wild, man. I'm sorry for the silence, but I'm trying to read this thing up. February 2015, both Smith and Washington were part of a group of 5 who broke into houses in Millbrook, Alabama, the Advertiser reports. When police responded to the scene, the two sides exchanged gunfire. Body camera footage played in court showing Washington running towards an officer pointing a gun at him. The officer then shot and killed Washington. Circuit Judge Shelby Reynolds sentenced Smith to 65 years in prison on Thursday. 30 years for felony. 30 years for I can't read. 30 years for a felony murder, 15 for burglary, and 2 10-year sentences for theft. This dude got 65. How much did he get? 30 years for felony, 30 years for murder. The officer shot Adante, not Lakin, said attorney during the trial. As per USA Today, Lakin was a 15-year-old child scared to death. He did not participate in the act that caused the death of Adante. He never shot anybody. That's the argument, man. And it's easy for me to sit here and quarterback this and go, kids shouldn't have been in that situation. Should have had better parenting. Should have made better choices. But the way that daggone system is set up, man. So they're basically saying that. Hold up. They're basically the court, the state is saying that who is Lakeith is the one. Lakeith is the one that got convicted. I'm trying to get his other boy's name. The officer shot. So Adante, they're saying Adante would not have gotten killed by the police officer. It was the police officer's choice to shoot and kill this boy. They're saying that the Adante would be alive if it weren't for Adante and Lakeith Smith's activity that day. So they put the daggone murder on, I think he was 15. Lakeith was a 15-year-old child. Yeah, he was 15, got charged with murder. That's crazy, man. There's nothing. One has been sentenced 20 years in prison, while the other 2 have not yet. Oh, so the other 3 defendants. How many of them? Let's see, the other 3. So that's 5 folks. Defendants in the burglaries have all entered guilty plea. Fox 8, 28. That's wild, man. Yeah, man. As soon as I read that, though, I read it. I don't know when the heck this thing came out, but I knew that that's most likely what happened. How do I know? I knew there was possibly this. But that sounds like what happens, man. And that kind of stuff. That's why I like being a loner. Man, so that boy got charged with murder because a police officer shot and killed somebody. The daggone laws, man. That shit's gross. I feel like I'm just a news reporter. Yeah, if you wanna read that story, go to my Twitter, at Arman Hocker. Go to my Twitter account, man. It's on there. It's about, I don't know, halfway down the scrollsies. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here, man. I done held y'all ear up for long enough. If you got any questions, man, hit me up on Instagram, Twitter. What else do I got? Facebook. Hit me up, man. Y'all got any questions? Y'all just want to holler at me. Until next time, thank you for listening to the Garage Cat. Whoa, what's a blast from the past? Thank you for listening to the Arman Hocker Project, and again, thank you for my sponsor, the Rival Collection. Head over there, use the code AHP20 at checkout, and also head to iTunes, if you will, rate and review this podcast. If you see it on Facebook because of a hashtag, share it for me. If you see it on Twitter, new episode up, retweet it for me. Let me know you listening. All right, y'all. Thanks.